Oh.
We are apparently live.
It works.
So we're going to wait for a second and try to redirect people here. If you're watching this later, I might edit this out. Now I need to find this video link.
Ugh.
Thanks for bearing with us.
Oh yeah, I feel it too. Oh my god, 5 people are watching this right now. Watching me eat an orange. Sorry. I thought no one was here yet.
Thank you. Welcome. Sorry, we're having a couple of technical difficulties today, so we couldn't get the original video link to work. So we're going live here now. And we're just going to wait for a few minutes to get all the other people who are in the other video over here. Hopefully.
Come on over.
Come on over. Come on over.
Catherine, that's going to be stuck in my head for
I'm sorry.
days. It's already just like playing.
Yep. Welcome to my head and my brain. I was actually, fun story while we wait for people to arrive. I was working on some writing last night and I had to come up with like a fake band that my characters were really into. And I was trying to come up with like fake lyrics to a fake song from this fake band.
Can you sing it?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I can even remember them right now. But it was like an emo band that dressed up like vampires, so it was really over the top. So I'm excited to write this story.
That sounds good.
I'm also going to real quick drop the link to this video in the video description and send it to Sarah, who manages our Twitter, just to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Come to the right place.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. It seems like we have a lot of people here now who are coming from the other virtual write-in. I don't know why that link wasn't working. We tried and it just did that spinny thing. Everyone knows the spinny thing in some form where you're just like waiting. You don't know why. And all the little gremlins that live inside the computer are like, furiously making it not work. Somebody said, cool mug. And I think you're talking about this one.
Oh, this is your favorite mug, right?
This is my favorite mug. So we sell a lot of mugs through NaNoWriMo, and some of them do very well. And some of them, our operations director says, like, nobody really bought this one for some reason. And she says that people don't buy a lot of these, but I don't know why, because I use this at work every day, and it's my favorite. I think I'm doing an ad for the mug now, but I really do think it's a beautiful color and it's the perfect size. Anyway,
I have the test one at home that doesn't have the image on it.
Yeah.
It is the perfect size.
I love it. Okay. So it seems like maybe everybody's over from the other chat. So we'll start right now. Like everything was going well. Pretend like it didn't happen. Okay. Welcome to our February 2020 virtual write-in. This is our second write-in of the year. We're super excited to have it. We're excited to be writing with you. If this is your first time at a virtual write-in, we like to think of it as an hour where you're just hanging out with all these creative people, chatting about your writing, making space for your creativity, and we'll also have some time for some writing prompts and sprints so you can get back into your project. My name is Mariah. I'm one of the program directors in NaNoWriMo.
And I'm Catherine. I'm the communications manager.
And we're not, okay. I was going to say we're not in an emo band, but we're also.
I kind of am.
But you
honestly.
Kind of are. Which is awesome.
We could start one.
Yeah.
We could start an office band.
Warning, I don't have a talent.
Yes, you do.
Wait,
I'm not a musical talent. You
talent.
play trombone while you're like
I
juggling things on people's head.
No one wants to hear trombone though.
Yeah, we have had a trombonist play with us before.
Whoa.
And it was really great. And we're always talking about how we want one. So if you ever want to join our band.
Okay, I'll practice. So enough about that. We thought it'd be fun. I'm looking through my notes to see, is there anything I forgot? Blah, blah, blah. NaNoWriMo, writing, creativity. Check. Sometimes we like to theme these virtual write-ins to make them, focus on a certain type of prompt. So the theme that I came up for this virtual write-in is leap, ... into writing. Do you get it? Because it's a leap year and it's February. There's 29 days, so we get to really live it up. Great, did that. So you can go ahead. We introduced ourselves. If you want to introduce yourself in the chat, I saw some people already doing that. You can also maybe drop in where you're writing from today or where you're joining from today. I saw Rosemary Tiger says, hello from Salem, Oregon, which is very cool. I saw another one, Letras, sorry if I said it wrong, says, hello from Morocco. So that kind of thing, Pacific Northwest. Lots of different places. Love it. Hello from Pennsylvania.
The Advocate plays clarinet if we want to expand our band. Our non-existent vampire band.
Yeah. Debbie Richardson says, hi from Dunfermline, Scotland. Again, sorry if I said it wrong. Cool. So while you all are introducing yourselves, see if there's anything else I wanted to say. Nope. Already said it. Said everything.
Everything there is to say.
If you like these virtual write-ins, or even if you don't know if you like it because this is your first one, you can always subscribe to our NaNoWriMo YouTube channel. Just click the Viking helmet. Maybe it's over here.
A little shield.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is.
I only know this because I'm looking at the video right now.
And it'll subscribe you to the channel so that you can get notified whenever we're doing virtual write-ins like this, or any other kind of video we do.
Speaking of other kinds of videos, if you like doing stuff like this, we are doing a really awesome webcast tomorrow with an editor. His name is Elizabeth K. Crotch, and she is amazing. She's an editor and an agent, and so she's been in the industry for many, many years and just came out with a new book. And so we're going to be talking to her. So if you want a chance to ask like a professional editor and agent questions about publishing or editing or anything to do with those subjects, we'll be talking to her tomorrow at the same time as we are now.
Join us tomorrow.
Hopefully no technical snafus.
Oh my gosh. Hello from Oregon, from the Philippines, Germany, North Idaho, El Sobrante, California, near us. We're coming from Berkeley. Debbie says, yes, you did say it wrong, about Dunfermline.
Dunfermline?
Anyway, just send us a little voice message somehow. We'll get it right. Maybe we can leap into some writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So for our first prompt and our first sprint, this is just kind of a warm-up. And I assume some of you are probably in the middle of a project that you're still working on. Some of you maybe have nothing you're working on. That's fine. Some of you might be revising a project. So if this works for you, use it. If not, just use the sprint time to like work on whatever you're working on. Okay. Here's my prompt though, if it serves you. If you are in the middle of a scene, use the word leap, hop, or jump somehow in the scene. Fit it in somehow, even if you weren't planning to have that word in there. If you're starting something brand new, then start with the very first image of this story being something or someone leaping. And then see where the story goes from there. Thank you for that great demonstration. So it could be like a ballerina. It could be a flea. It could be someone who's like leaping off a cliff. It could be any number of things. And see where it goes.
Great. Ooh, you have a timer? I have a timer.
Great. So maybe for this warm-up, we can do 5 minutes. Again, the prompt serves you, use it. If not, you can... Debbie says the girl in the cool jacket with the big buttons said it right. That was you. Yes. Do you remember how you said it, though?
No, and I'm not going to risk saying it.
There you go.
Saying it wrong this time.
Just like wipe your hands. We're like, yep. Virtual write-in over.
Totally.
Bye.
Okay.
Kimberly says, hey, yay, NaNoWriMo. Are we prepping for Camp NaNoWriMo? That's a program that happens, a challenge that happens in April. You could be doing that. Right now, we're just going to do whatever we're working on. So I'm going to keep working on the story I started in November, but I'm going to try to work the word leap into it in these 5 minutes. I know that Catherine is revising, so maybe she's going to try to work the word in as she's revising. Or maybe she's not going to use the prompt at all and just use these 5 minutes to like get her head back in her project.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. 5 minutes starting now. And about a minute and a half left. All right, time's up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing, maybe finish up your sentence or your thought. If you want to share anything you wrote, feel free to drop a sentence or two in the chat. You can also tell us how many words you wrote during that sprint. And if you used the prompt, would love to know how you used it. Did you end up using it?
I did not.
Oh, no.
I know. I thought it was a good prompt, but what I'm doing is I'm working on a novel, but then I have all these short stories that are in a state of like semi-revision. Like I've done a couple drafts, but they're not final yet.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is just so I've opened up a lot of them this morning. And so I was writing a note to myself about what I think is really good about my story and then what I think, why the story is not working for me. I'm kind of trying to treat it like it's a story someone submitted to me in a class or something. Because I just can't figure out, the ending. I can't figure out how to end it. That's all. That's what I did.
Nice.
It's about ghosts. I feel like 90% of my stories are about ghosts.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Ghosts can't really leap either. They're just like, woo.
They could make somebody leap, though.
Oh, yeah. Good.
It's okay. I feel like 90% of my stories are about fairies, so it works out.
And so one time I thought, I was like, this is not a ghost story, you know? And then like in the climax, I was like, dang it, because they're like a ghost pops up, you know?
Oh, that's funny.
What are you doing here? Not about me. Did you use the prompt?
I did not, but I did write some lyrics for this song, for this emo vampire song that I'm not gonna sing.
Oh.
Sorry. Maybe I'll sing it next week when I have a more solid idea.
Bula Sketches wrote 123 words. I didn't use the prompt, haha. That's fine. We just we like having the prompts because sometimes I use them and they help me, but sometimes they don't.
Binary says, I was finally able to make a scene I've been struggling with work by rewriting it and starting out with Leap. Thank you.
That's so great.
So that's awesome.
That's great.
Here's an excerpt from Puppies Forever. Kemma, Silver exclaimed. She leaped onto the bed, and with a loud purr, she fell asleep.
Look at that.
Silver is a kitten.
Sarah Nichols says, even with 15 years to build up his courage, going from quietly minding his business to being the face of a revolution with riots and marches is still a large leap.
I love that.
Like that.
That's really cool.
Debbie Richardson, who lives in Scotland in a town that we will not say again, used leaping, hopping, and jumped.
Nice.
Oh, Pamela Pritchett. I lifted my long skirts just enough to clear the ground, leaped over the puddle, and continued on my way. I wasn't about to let a little thing like a mud puddle stop me.
That's great. That's very like Pride and Prejudice.
She's always like getting mud all over her things. That's great.
Misty Kate wrote 50 handwritten words during that prompt. That's a lot. Way to find handwriters.
Rosemary Tiger says, I'm moving slow today, 82 words.
That is okay.
It's the story of my everyday. I write really slowly. We have someone who works here who's like, Sarah. I'll just call her out. Sarah, who manages Twitter. And we were talking about how long it takes us to reach 1,667 words. And I was like, for me, it takes about 3 hours. Honestly, I write faster in the beginning. Then I slow down. She's like, oh, I can do it in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like, oh, this explains why you win every year.
yeah, it takes me a long time.
Me too. I'm not a quick writer.
Mm-mm.
But I'm getting better. I will have to say that doing word sprints and just trying, like attempting NaNoWriMo over here has definitely made me a faster writer. You know this, but so I started grad school for writing like last month. And it's kind of the first time in a long time that I've had a really like I have to write in order to get my work and get my grades in. And you know, we have like 25 to 50 pages due every month, and people were freaking out about it. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, ooh, double space, like that's actually not that much compared to how much I was writing during NaNoWriMo. So
in the Young Writers Program, kids will say that too. They'll be like, because you remember when you were in elementary school or high school, and then you had to write a 5-page paper, and it was the longest thing you'd ever written in your life? They're like, whatever, we just wrote like 200 pages for NaNoWriMo, so this is nothing.
Yeah, no, it's funny how that shifts your perspective in a good way, I think.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Oh, so I had a question for you before we move into our next prompt, and feel free to drop, just to kind of gauge where we are as a writing community right now. So right now, January and February, we provide a lot of resources called Now What, thinking that maybe people want help revising or publishing. And I was just wondering if there's anyone out there right now who is actively revising a project and that's what you're working on. So if you wanted to drop into the chat, like, are you revising? And if you are revising, do you have any good revision tips for the rest of us? Because I'm not revising, well, I actually am. I'm not revising my novel now, but I am revising some short stories, and I would love to hear if other people have some good tips. Cool.
I should be revising. Procrastinating by writing a new thing.
Yep.
So that's how my revision process is going. I told myself that this weekend I'm going to like set aside time to revise.
I honestly love revision. I love revision way more than I like writing. I'm working on this novel, and I'm just like overjoyed thinking that I'll be done with the first draft soon.
Oh no, I'm kind of the opposite.
Oh really?
It is. I think it will be easier this time because I had to like submit my work for other people to give comments on, and so now I actually have like other people's ideas about my work that I can say like, oh yes, this came up for 5 different people. Clearly, this is something I need to change.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, when I try to go and revise my work, it's hard for me to tell what should stay and what should go. So
yeah. Who just said something? Rosemary Tiger says, I am revising. I love working with my writing group who's also revising. We have a timeline where we share a finished chapter every week and then critique them, which is really, really cool. And Lindsay Ewing says, my best tip is to retype your manuscript. I didn't come up with that, but it's really worked for me. I've heard that before too. And I've tried to do it because I think a common mistake, or not a mistake, a common thing is like you just keep that same draft and then you try to like add things or change things. But having to actually like look at your old draft and type every word that you want into your new draft makes you think about all those words in a new way. I think that's really cool.
Kimberly Klingerman says, yes, revising right now. Like literally I'm trying to bring my old project from 2018 back to life. I love that image of just like, no, breathe.
Oh, this is cool too. Rosemary Berry says, now I'm doing another revision based on adding details and descriptions to make sure my setting is fleshed out. So kind of revising with an eye for certain things, like maybe you revised already thinking of character, and now I think I should do that because I've realized that I'm not a person who thinks about setting so much. Like I admire when other people do it, but that doesn't happen to me in the first pass. So in the second pass, I think how do I build that out more is a cool question.
Interesting.
Think about.
I think sometimes I think I do too much of it. Probably because I grew up reading all of the Redwall books. You know? And so sometimes I go through and I'm like, oh, this is really slow. I just need to like none of this matters right now.
You're like, get them out of the woods. Cool. Okay. Maybe we can start our second prompt.
Yeah, let's do it.
And great. So this is our second prompt. We're going to write for 10 minutes. You can use the prompt if you want to. You can ignore it if you want to. You could keep writing the thing you started writing last time. It's just up to you. The most important thing is to spend these 10 minutes writing or thinking about your writing, I guess, too. So it's a leap year, right? There's 29 days in February. And personally, I always feel like February 29th should be a holiday, like way more interesting and better than any other holiday because it only happens every 4 years.
Do you know anyone who has their birthday on the 29th?
I don't.
My old dance teacher did.
It's so cool. It's so cool. So
well, she kind of didn't like it though, because it's like,
what do you
it's
do?
only every 4 years that you can celebrate your birthday on your actual birthday, right? So
Yeah.
you have to do it either the day before or the day after.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought maybe if this prompt helped you, you could write a scene or a story where the characters are celebrating a holiday, either one that they made up or one that they're celebrating in a really like weird or unique way. Maybe they're celebrating leap day, or maybe they're celebrating like Valentine's Day, but in a totally different, strange way.
One of my favorite, some of my favorite podcasters, they kind of like made an alternate to Christmas called Candle Nights.
Ooh.
And so the fan base celebrates Candle Nights every year. So
I love that.
Like that. But, okay, so 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. I'll drop the prompt in the chat. And let's start writing now. Got about 2.5 minutes left of this prompt. All right. Time is up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. You can maybe finish a sentence or a thought. Again, if you want to drop in the chat and let us know how you use the prompt, if you use the prompt, maybe share a sentence or your word count that you got to during that sprint, let us know. I did actually kind of use it that time.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it wasn't a real holiday, but it was kind of like the last day of school. So it felt like a holiday, you know.
That's a great holiday.
So they're going to the beach.
I'm still trying to figure out. It's hard for me to switch from writing to talking. You know,
It's okay.
I'm always like, I don't know how to talk anymore.
I totally get it.
On Saturday, I spent the whole day kind of by myself doing writing type things.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, I was like, well, I could do this like forever, you know?
Right, yeah.
Just kind of sink into the little introvert haven. Did you already tell them to drop their things in the chat?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. I'm so happy.
Man, you were super far out in writer brain. That's great. No, I love it. I love it when that happens, when you're just in a totally different world.
Cool. Let's see. What is happening
Allison
here?
Opson Clement wrote a page, didn't use the prompt, but could progress.
Whoa. Binary said, just had a bit of a brainstorm that resulted in the thought, I might have to homebrew a god. Love how little sense it makes out of context.
I love that.
Me too. I really love it. Be
Good.
more chill, please. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, just homebrewing a god makes me think of D&Ds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, do it.
Be more chill, please said, today was the choosing. A sage had come from afar and picked 4 young souls to accompany her on her journey. Theo dreamt of the day she would be picked, but when the tie came, it was her brother.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was really exciting. Sarah Nichols wrote 291 words, didn't use the prompt this time. It's okay.
Oh, interesting. Hannah Crenshaw says, I'm revising a story called A Bargain for Mercy, in which my main character, Kassan, tries to convince a lock to let him out of prison.
Jasmine Galloway said, I did about 300 or so words. Fave line, do I have to meet your other wives?
Nice.
That sounds interesting. Cool. Unicorn Fan 85, half a page handwritten. Pretty good.
Ooh, Tamar Brown wrote 133 more words added to a ninja adventure novel.
Whoa.
That sounds like fun.
That does sound like fun. You know, when you're writing a certain novel and then you hear about another idea and you're like, I want to be writing that.
I know, right?
Why can't I write a ninja adventure novel?
Are the ninjas the one going on adventures, or are people going on adventures in which there are ninjas? That's my big question.
I love it. Cool. Oh, we only have 18 minutes left.
Oh wow. I guess we
we
had a little time at the beginning with our
sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Well, I want to maybe move into the last prompt then, because it has a little bit of an explanation that I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this is a leap year, and we heard about this cool challenge from the MLs. MLs are municipal liaisons, kind of our regional volunteers all over the world. And the MLs in Atlanta are running what seems like a really cool challenge in their region that we wanted to share with you. It's called LEAP. These are all capital letters, and it stands for Literature Encompasses All People. And here's a quote from their posting in the ML regional forum, or their forum. We've all grown up with books that haven't necessarily aged well. Some of our own stories over the years are probably in that now cringe-worthy category, and that's okay. You can love something and realize it has problems. The LEAP feat is a chance to give yourself permission to turn that around by finding the problematic aspects of your work and yeeting them off a cliff. Could more of your characters be women, trans, non-binary people rather than men? Could there be greater diversity in the races and ethnicities presented? What are their social and economic classes? How about some awesome older heroes, or more variety in their sexualities? Could some characters be disabled or neuroatypical? Do all your stories take place in the same anywhere city? And is there somewhere else you're familiar with that doesn't get much literary love? Or shortcuts like problematic tropes and stereotypes used that could be avoided? And so then as part of this, they have a 4-week challenge, and they have 4 prompts for each week. So I thought it's week 1. I thought we could do the first prompt with them. And if you write something that you like, you could tweet it or put it on Instagram, I guess. And they're using the hashtag LeapFeat. So Catherine's going to drop it into the chat. It's feet, spelled F-E-A-T. So they have 4 challenges, but the one this week is sex and or gender switcheroo. How different would the story be? And this is the story you're writing or your novel or whatever. How different would the story be if the main character / love interest / everybody was a different sex or gender? And I thought that would be a cool thing to do. So if some of you are working on revising right now, maybe we could spend the next 10 minutes and just pick a random character and play around with the idea of switching their genders. If you're writing a news story right now, I'll do this sometimes. I have an idea for a news story. Like I was like, I'm going to write about a prospector who lost his leg and then has to go find it in the mines because it's like doing weird stuff without him. And I was like, he's grizzled and he's like old and he's crotchety. And then I was like, I always like to push myself. And I was like, why is he a man? Because like those traits automatically made me think man. But then I was like, entertain the idea for 5 minutes that it's a woman instead, like a crotchety old grizzled prospector woman who's out there who lost her foot in the mines. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's more interesting now.
Yeah.
So I switched it and I started writing it with her as a woman. So
that's really cool.
I think it's interesting, even if you just spend these 10 minutes playing around with something and then you don't end up using it. I think it's a really cool thought exercise.
Yeah, totally.
I told you that for my novel. I was like, I thought about maybe just making everyone a woman.
Oh yeah, that was like a circus one? Yeah.
I ended up not doing it because there were a couple characters that I just loved too much already, but
I mean,
I did switch a couple characters.
That's great,
yeah.
I think. Cool. All right, so we're writing for 10 minutes on this one?
Yes.
Okay, so 10 minutes. Try switching the gender or sex of one of your characters that you're working with. Just play around with it. And I'll go ahead and start the timer now. Got about 2 minutes left with this prompt. All right, time's up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. Again, if you want to drop some sentences, or if you use the prompt or your word count in the chat, feel free to do that. I'd love to hear what you've been saying. I know a couple of people I'm seeing in the chat have been saying that like this prompt made them it makes them uncomfortable, which is totally reasonable. I think it's a hard topic to tackle sometimes. And again, you don't ever have to use these prompts if you don't feel like they're serving you. But I think it's a really good exercise to just like try to expand your writing a little bit into things you might not normally do. And people are saying, oh, I don't want to offend anyone, which is also totally reasonable and totally real. Klepto mentions that there are people who are happy to be sensitivity readers, which if you've never heard of sensitivity readers, it's if you're trying to write a character who is outside of your own lived experience, finding somebody who does have that lived experience to be able to look at your character and be like, oh yes, this is a good respectful way of writing things, or like this might be a little problematic, and approaching it from a way of they're wanting to help you get your story together. It's a thing that happens all the time, and it's really, really helpful
Totally. I would agree. Allison Clement also said, I would say it's all right to be uncomfortable. It's a good challenge to explore that feeling in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too. And also just a way to like check your first impulses sometimes. Like your first impulse is to, oh, this character's a man, thinking like, well, why? How would this story change or be enriched if I made this character different?
Mm-hmm.
Which is super interesting.
Yeah.
We did a really great partnership with Writing with Color, which is an organization of people. It's an organization. It's a couple people who write.
It's not an organization. So it mostly happens on a blog on Tumblr.
Yeah.
I'll drop the link in, and it's a collection of people from different backgrounds who have their Ask box open for people who want to ask questions about writing specific characters. And that can be answered by people who have that lived experience.
So, for instance, and that one's more based on race and ethnicity, and is really interesting for, like, I'm white, and sometimes I don't want all my characters to be white because there's already so many books with white characters, but I also don't want to, again, like, I don't want to.
You don't want to offend anyone.
I'm like, I have an experience that, and I can't understand some people's experiences, but, so they answer a lot of questions, like, how to approach that, how to write different characters from different places. So
yeah, I'm just dropping a link now in the chat to some of the series of blog posts that they wrote for us in the fall. That are really, really, really good resources if you ever want to try that.
And some of them are really fun. It's like I'm writing my world is set under the sea. I'm writing more creatures. Some of them have dark skin and hair that's like dreaded. What can I do with that? Like, is this going to be offensive or not? Or they're usually more nuanced questions than is this offensive or not. It's more like, how can I make sure that this is,
that I'm not writing stereotypes, that I'm writing fully realized characters. So it's good in just like, thinking about how you develop characters too, any characters that you write, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Let me see. Tia Kala says, absolutely double checking the impulse to make all the minor characters in the background straight white men is really helpful. Me too. Like, I had a cop in a very small side character in a story, and then it was a man, and I was like, why? Like, I'll make it a woman. It's so easy to do that, to check that impulse. In other words, Sarah Nichols says, only 120 words. I got very stuck early on trying to figure out a name for a teacher who is also a vampire. Just to take a pivot. That's really funny.
Maybe your teacher is in my fake vampire band.
Yeah, hopefully. Cool. Seeing if there's a couple other ones that we could share.
Yeah. Klepto said the Atlanta Forum has also started a list of writers willing to help with marginalized voices, which is really cool. So yeah, definitely check out #LeapFest is what they're.
These Leap Feet.
Leap Feet. Sorry, I read it wrong.
No, Leap Fest makes sense to me too. I don't know what the
Leap Feet is right. I read it wrong.
Okay, let's see another one. Da-da-da. Yeah, and Sharma says, and I don't know how I feel about this representing real cultures and peoples that the author doesn't belong to. If it's in real life based, talk to people from that culture / those issues fit a lot of research. Definitely, hard agree. And again, like, would never want to write a story where the whole crux of the story depends on fully understanding that experience, because like you just can't, right? Yeah. Like if it's not your experience, and but if it's like, it's complicated, and I think this blog is a really great resource, and I think that having that in mind too, like that not wanting to represent people who aren't yourself, saying like you're because you just can't,
right? But so for instance, I just read The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, which has two main characters, and the story is told from two different perspectives, and one of them is a young Black woman who was born in Jamaica and is about to get deported. And then the other main character is a Korean American who was born in America, and it's told from their different perspectives. And Nicola Yoon was talking about how she was going about writing this book, and said she had like 4 readers to help her, craft the sections with the character Daniel, who is the Korean American character, because she was like, I don't have that experience, but she was able to reach out to people who did, and
that's interesting.
It's a really great book. I don't know.
No, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's 2:02.
Oh.
That's for sure.
Man, time flies.
I know.
We're having fun.
This is, I mean, also it's just like, I'm really excited that Atlanta MLs are doing this, and I hope that you guys share some of that stuff on the hashtag, or I don't know if anybody can access their regional forum, or if it's just Atlanta, so check it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, we should not forget to do this. And at the end of the virtual ride-in, I'm always just like, let's just hang out, guys. Let's just be here. Let's chill, right? I never want to go, but here are some notes that I left for myself to remember to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
So 1, tune in for that agent webcast tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m. Pacific time, whatever time this virtual ride-in started for you. The other thing is that we're going to do the last week in February, where we've decided it's going to be called Nano Novel Premiere Week. Woo! And with the idea that, like, at a movie premiere, that's the first time a movie gets showed to a bunch of people. People get dressed up, fancy red carpet, sparkly dress. And we know that probably not everyone will have a published revised novel to share at the end of February, but we hope that you have some bits of your novel revised, because we're going to give opportunities to share on social media, some dares to share with maybe people in your life. And then we're also going to host a live event here in Berkeley and live stream it on YouTube, so you can tune in your PJs and share excerpts from your novel in the chat and listen to other people's being shared, and kind of stream this live event that we're hosting for the Bay Area.
But if you're in the area, feel free to stop by the live event. We would love to see you there.
We'll be sending out, if you're local to the Bay Area, we're going to be sending out an RSVP form on Thursday. And then if you're not local,
you can join us here.
You can join us here online on the live stream, and that event is already up, so you could even set a reminder for yourself.
Yeah.
It's for February 27th.
Yeah, February 27th.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. It's one of those moments where it takes a minute to process in your brain.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us today. Thanks for bearing with us through our technical difficulties. And we'll hopefully see you tomorrow when we have that agent webcast.
Oh, yeah.
If not, good luck, happy writing, and hope everything goes well.
Oh, you got it.
I got it. I don't got it. There we go.